Hello everyone, I've got a 2015 Nissan Pathfinder. Well, this thing, the alternator, it decides not to charge anymore. So the alternator is buried. It's way down there. You can't even see it. So what I did is I removed the motor mount that goes on the side, but that thing is freaking pain in the neck. I removed this like dog bone on the that's the transmission motor mount holder, called dog bone because it looks like a dog bone. So this thing, it won't come off. So basically what you gotta do is just remove this big long bolt that goes in there, and this thing will come off. But on the motor mount, it has like 6 bolts. And there is. So as you can see, there's 4, 5, and 6. And the reason I did this is because this thing is, maybe in some other vehicles they're cleaner, no rust, and will come off even easier. But what I did on this one is I removed the splash shield out of the way, and it is, I believe it's a 21mm big long bolts. This is the one on the front. It goes right there. And I did not remove that one, but that one is loose. So the alternator is right here. It looks like it's easy peasy, right? Well, it's not. Especially when you have a lot of rust. This thing, I don't know where it came from, but here in Washington State, there is some cars that are rusty, but I think this one is it's bad. You know, it's really, really bad. Look at this exhaust manifold. So anyway, there is 2 big long bolts that holds the AC compressor, which is 14s. They're right here. And there is one right here, and there is another one right there, which are right here. And there's 1, 2, and 3 way up there, 10mm. And I removed the harness for the oil pressure sensor, and I removed the hose out of my way, which are right there. The reason I did that is because I believe this one has like a metal pipe here in the past, and I put up one of those heater hoses because it was coming apart. It was deteriorating. So this thing is not fun. Look what happened to me right now. And it hurts big time. Okay, I drained the coolant, and I'm going to show you why. This is the low radiator hose, which goes right in here. As you guys can see, it's right there. But look at this thing, you know. So the bolt that goes right here, that holds the alternator, it's rusty. That socket is rusty. So that's the reason I removed the lower radiator hose. And once I got the radiator hose out, I was able to see what was going on. There was a lot of stuff here in the way. I removed every single freaking zip tie. You have a lot of zip ties in this thing. So now I got this thing out, but the connector for the alternator, it was pain. It would not come off because due to the debris, there was a lot of crap. So, of course, I got one jack stand holding the car on the back. This the cradle is not going anywhere because there's two more bolts on the other side, two big long bolts, and on the back there is a bracket that holds the other part of the cradle. So right here, the alternator is basically loose, and the reason I say you gotta remove this little 10 millimeter because the hose. See, you can just move that hose. Let me see. There it is. Look at that sucker. Look at that sucker. This thing is in better shape. I mean, this thing seems better days now. Not good, man. Not good. My little pinky hurts so bad because all that debris is in there. And it's bad right here. So make sure you got a big gun so you guys can break loose those long bolts. It's a 21 millimeter socket. This is what I use. Got a beefy one. Mm, 21. On the back there is 16s and 18s, I believe. And also you gotta remove the tensioner. It's 13 millimeters, two bolts, which it goes right there. But due to the hose, which is in our way right now, but it's there. So I'm going to install back again the alternator. Which customer provide one for Nissan, because sometimes when you get a reman, they don't last. And if you get a new one, it's made overseas. So this one is original, but he got it used from the boneyard. So I believe this one goes like this, but it was pretty new. Yeah, this vehicle has a lot of rust. It has a little bit of oil leakage, but not too bad. But the oil and dirt makes very, very, very sludge stuff, you know. If you want to remove like a connectors, oh man, you gotta fight for that stuff. So I'm gonna install this thing now. Make sure your connector is nice and clean, nothing broken. What I mean, I'm trying not to drop it either. I hope I don't drop it. Well, let's see. The reason this thing is leaking, my pinky is bleeding, is because the alternator is heavy. When I push it back, I didn't remove my pinky fast enough, and I got a smash in there. So I'm gonna see if I can put it back together now. And once again, once you got the hose out, it will make it a little bit easier so you can see what's going on in there. Like this connector for the alternator right there, cannot see it, so you just try to install it. Let's see, it goes right here, but one hand holding the phone and the other hand doing the alternator. It's not fun. Okay, there it is. You hear the pop. Okay, now I gotta do the electrical. The big connector. So I'm going to use both hands, which I cannot hold the phone. I cannot basically I cannot guide it anymore, but I want to see what I can do. So stay put. I'm gonna use some sort of pry bar or something to hold the alternator, because the connector is a little bit tight. The connector is not, it doesn't have enough slack, so you gotta bring it up. Okay, so I use a little pry bar, little spike. So I'm going to install the 12mm bolt. I mean, not the bolt, the nut. Sorry, the dog is driving me nuts. Okay, so the nut is in place. This nut, that's the one I was installing. So I gotta snug it. I got the connector, and now I got a bolt that goes right here, which holds the bracket. And once I had it there, I gotta make sure I'm going to align the alternator. Sorry if I'm moving the phone so much. This thing goes on the back, the alternator, which goes like right in here, but from the other side. Make sure you install the alternator and put some screwdrivers in place so you can guide it. And from on the back, just try to install the bolt and the bracket. Just make sure it's alignment, and don't not snag it yet, because if you snag it, maybe it's gonna be a little bit crooked. Don't be afraid. This thing is loose, as you guys can see. There's a big gap in there. I was using the pry bar so I can bring it down a little bit more. So make sure you got jack stand, block the wheels, set the e-brake, disconnect the battery, and you're gonna be good to go. So I'll see you guys later. Have fun.